On May 26, 2010, a moving truck arrived in San Francisco, carrying everything that our family owned. We had sold our home and a number of our possessions. We had left stable jobs. Why? We believe God had called us into this crazy venture of starting a new church here in San Francisco. That was over 12 years ago, and we've been here ever since. At the time, it felt so risky. It caused us to make some major sacrifices and take a huge step of faith. But here's what we have learned since that first step of faith. One step of faith opens the door for future steps of faith. Not only have we felt called to start a church in San Francisco, but specifically in the Soma, south of Market neighborhood. Epic Church began on February 13, 2011 at the W Hotel on the corner of 3rd and Howard, right here in Soma. Just 6 months later, we leased 6,000 square feet at 543 Howard Street between 1st and 2nd, still right here in Soma. Over the next 3 years, our church grew from 130 people to 430 people. We knew we needed a larger space, so then we leased 11,000 square feet at 250 Stevenson Street in October of 2014, and we've been there ever since, still right here in Soma. God has built a stable church community in the midst of a very transient city. Over 60 nations, multi-generational. We have seen over 300 baptisms. We've given over $2.5 million to our local and global partners through the Hope Project. And now, God has given us the opportunity to purchase and build out over 19,000 square feet right here at 414 Brannan Street, still in the heart of Soma. Every one of these faith moves seemed like the biggest one ever, because at the time, it was. So here we are again, and this is without a doubt the biggest faith move we've ever made as a church. Because of the original home initiative we launched in 2019, we were able to provide a down payment towards the purchase price of $12,050,000 for 414 Brannan Street. Thank you so much for those of you who have given and for those of you who are still in the process of completing your commitment to the home initiative. Home 2.0 is going to be our initiative to build out and furnish 414 Brannan Street. And I want to share with you how we envision each floor being designed and built out. This first floor includes a large lobby, as you can see, that will create the perfect environment for many people to get connected to our church, to each other, and to be able to take their next steps of faith. We will create a space to serve coffee and tea on this floor. We're going to have at least 2 multi-purpose rooms that can be used for Epic students, Epic groups, as well as all kinds of other gatherings. We will create at least 2 offices on this floor to make sure our staff team can carry out their work here at Epic. We will likely expand the restrooms here. And personally, I am so excited that we finally have tons of natural light flowing into this space. When families arrive, they will be able to walk down to the lower level, which is an entire floor for Epic kids. Here at Epic, we believe that a vision for the future must include the next generation. We will create a dynamic, kid-friendly environment that is safe, exciting, and fun for kids of all ages. Think about the hundreds of kids who will fill this space in the coming years and learn that there's a God who made them, who knows them, and who loves them. We expect to create 5 large classrooms here as well as restrooms on this floor. On this second floor is going to be the auditorium where our worship gatherings take place. We will be removing glass and walls. We're going to install blinds over the many windows on this floor so that we have the option of letting in all the natural light up here or being able to actually control the lighting in this room. This will be the place we experience God's presence through teaching and music. This is where we'll share so many sacred moments as a community. Just imagine the number of baptisms we'll witness in this space. Think of the moms and dads who will dedicate their children right here in this room. And most of all, I'm looking forward to what the Holy Spirit does here as we gather. There's so much to be excited about when it comes to 414 Brannan Street. But ultimately, this move is going to help us be better equipped to live out what has been our vision from day one, to see an increasing number of people right here in San Francisco orient their entire lives around Jesus. I'll admit it, this is a huge step of faith for us. But what's the alternative? You might recognize Hebrews chapter 11 as the greatest chapter on faith in the entire Bible. But I really think it's the last verse in Hebrews 10 that sets the stage for chapter 11. And it says this, Hebrews 10:39. But we do not belong to those who shrink back and are destroyed, but to those who have faith and are saved. What group will we belong to? The shrinking back group or the moving forward by faith group? I've already told you that Epic has been a moving forward by faith group from day one. This is how we moved here. It's how we stepped into the W Hotel, how we went to 543 Howard Street, and it's how we got to 250 Stevenson. But it was also a step of faith that positioned us to be here at 414 Brannan Street. Because of your generosity and God's provision, we were prepared to give the down payment on this property. There is much work that has to be done over the next year to get this building ready for Epic Church's purposes. Constructing Epic Kids classrooms, expanding restrooms, creating offices, installing an elevator, purchasing audio and video equipment, and doing all of the upgrades to make sure we're within San Francisco code. We expect that it's going to take at least $5 million to do this work, and we want to raise as much of this as possible. This church, in case you didn't know, was founded on the premise of Psalm 127, verse 1. It says this, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain." I don't know how much time I have left on this earth, but I can promise you this. I want to give my life to building whatever God is building. I don't wish to labor in vain. I don't want to give in vain. I don't want to use my time in vain. But Epic family, what we're trying to do through the Home 2.0 initiative is not going to be in vain. Now I want to speak to those of you who have never lived in San Francisco, you used to live in San Francisco, or you're not sure how much longer you're going to be living in San Francisco. Listen, while I would love for you to be here or to stay here for a long time, I want you to know this. Through Home 2.0, you can make a long-term investment in the future of Epic Church. Yes, for the decades of ministry that will happen in this space, but also for all of eternity. Here's what we're asking each individual and family in our Epic community to do. Bring a one-time gift on or before October 2nd, as well as a 2-year commitment for the years 2023 and 2024 for what each of us will give to the Home 2.0 initiative over and above our regular giving. Tricia Nils has one of our favorite quotes when she says, "With the participation of the whole congregation, a church can afford a big vision." No surprise, but this is a big vision, and it's our desire to see 100% participation. It's going to take all of us. Some of you can actually give millions to this project, and you should. For others of you, $100 will be a stretch. Most of us will fall somewhere in between. Would you pray now about what God would have you to give to this significant project? And then bring your gift and commitment by October the 2nd. I am looking so forward to our future together.